Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unscaled Travel Show. So glad that you're here. I'm Jeremy Long, your host, here with my co-explorer, as always, Amy Long.
Hi.
We are coming to you from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. And we got a really fun and interesting show for you today. And hopefully, this is about one of these places that's not too well known, I think, outside of the Western United States. But if you have or follow any kind of travel stuff on social media, you've probably seen a lot of pictures of it. And you just don't know about it, right?
Right. I think everyone's seen pictures from this place, but you don't know what the town is called that it comes from.
We are talking about a little place called Page, Arizona. From Vegas, Page is about 4 hours by car. And it takes you through some beautiful scenic areas through Utah and then Arizona and then back through Utah and then back into Arizona because it's a winding road that goes across the border multiple times. But this the area is not too far away from the north rim of the Grand Canyon. It also features the stunning landscapes of where the Colorado River cuts through the land. And so you get a lot of canyons, you get a lot of those kind of looks, and it's kind of a few hours. I guess if you're rafting, it's a few hours away by raft to like Lake Mead. So this water that's there eventually goes into Lake Mead, which is right by Las Vegas. So it is kind of interesting to see how it all flows together, but it is very much, and unless I'm wrong here, I mean, it's very much like an outdoors paradise.
Right. And it is one of the most photographed places in the southwest part of the United States.
Oh, I would believe that. You see, I mean, a couple of years ago, especially during the pandemic, the first place that instantly jumps out is Horseshoe Bend. Right. During the pandemic, like this place was exploding everywhere. You probably saw people sitting what appears to be near the edge of this. And it's, it's a U where the river has kind of cut through and made this beautiful canyon. And
it's made a horseshoe.
And did you know, this is interesting, right? If you look it up, there's actually another Horseshoe Bend.
There are. I didn't know.
There are multiple horseshoe bends. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. And I thought for some reason, I don't know how copyrights work, but I thought maybe.
This one is officially Horseshoe Bend, though, for the Colorado River. But there is another place on the Colorado River that it has made a very similar shape into the land. And I've seen pictures of both, and it's hard to tell the difference.
There's also one, I want to say in the eastern United States, a different river cuts a very similar horseshoe shape, and they call it Horseshoe Bend as well. And I'm like, I mean, I get it. It looks like a horseshoe, but there's got to be other names, right? It's got to be like John's Bend or something like that. I mean,
the U-shaped river.
The U. Yeah. So, I mean, Horseshoe Bend is probably the first one that pops up. Of course, it was made over millions of years. There you go. Geological, wonders and all of that made through millions of years. And over the last few years, the area around it has really kind of blown up as far as becoming this really, really popular tourist stop. Mm-hmm. So they've put a lot of improvements in this area. It used to be just like a parking lot. You could walk out there and, just kind of stand on the side, but people always want to push these things to the extreme. And you ended up having a few accidents because there are cliffs involved and things. And so now they've put some railings up and different things like that. So it's a little bit safer if you go out there with the kids, but I have to tell you, we haven't been out there in a couple of years now, but the walk out there
right
is something else.
Well, so the parking lot is a little over half a mile from the actual overlook. And you do have to pay to park. It varies on the size of your vehicle, but for regular cars, it's like $10 US. But then you have to walk, and it is an incline walk up to the overlook. And there's no shade. I think now they have added a couple of places with little awnings for you to stop and rest. But we happened to go during the summer. It was very hot. It is desert. And you're walking uphill in the heat. And it is tiring. And we were not expecting that. We thought, because it doesn't seem very far, like, oh, you're going to park and it's just a little 5-minute walk. No, the walk was a little bit more like a 20-minute walk, because we did slow down a bit in that heat. But now I was just reading, they do sell some water and some other refreshments to help keep you cool. But just keep in mind, it is outside, it's the desert, it is warm. So if you go during the summer here, take some water with you, because it's going to be hot. But it is a good little hike to get to the overlook.
Right.
And then once you're at the overlook, it has been, as you were saying, they have made improvements so that there is railings, but you can easily go around the railings. A lot of people were going around the railings and walking along the rocks that did not have railings. You and I even sat next to it, and you were very concerned.
I genuinely don't like to fall off cliffs.
Well, I don't think anyone does, but you would not let me hang my legs over the side.
You know why? Selfishly, because then, like, if something, knock on this wood right here, but if something did happen to you, then people would be looking at me like,
it's always the spouse.
Climb the, I was thinking of, I wasn't even thinking murder. I was thinking they're just going to go, hey, you need to climb down there and go get her and help her. And I'm like, I ain't climbing down there.
No.
Look, this body is not built for climbing mountains or canyon walls. And so I just have to, you were talking about that water they sell. I'd probably have to just toss you one of them. And hopefully I don't hit you in the face or something.
Well, thankfully nothing happened to us or anyone else while we were there. But I would say if you go with children, keep a close eye on them, because the railing in itself isn't going to stop a smaller child
or
from,
a dog
or a dog, exactly. So,
but it is very popular with like influencers. We passed while we were sweating and almost dying. There seems to be a correlation between Utah and us almost dying from the heat. But we did see a young influencer lady going out there in a full dress, ready to be photographed at,
we
sunset
saw a bride,
or something like that. Yes, absolutely.
A bride taking her wedding photos out there.
It's a very popular place.
Yeah.
If you're going to go and visit like early morning, late afternoon, obviously sunrise, sunset are going to be best opportunities for pictures if that's your thing. But it's also, during the day, you're going to get the tourist buses. You're going to get all of that, because it is, like we said earlier, it is picking up as far as popularity. And it was already popular, I think, with locals and regionals who liked Lake Powell.
Right.
Lake Powell was formed by the Glen Canyon Dam that they built out there. And so it is a kind of like water playground for people who like to, I just said it, play on the water.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
It does say on their website, and we did this. We went first thing in the morning when we thought it would be cooler. It does say get out there early before it does get very crowded. That by the middle of the day, it's typically very crowded. It's hard to get good photos, and it is getting hotter by that point. It does say on their website, and I believe it, that the busiest time out there is after 4 p.m. because everybody wants to get those sunset photos. So if you're not a diehard sunset fan, maybe try to get out for the sunrise in the morning.
I am not a diehard. Who is not a diehard sunset fan? Looking at sunsets and just be like, awful. This stinks, man. So we are talking about Page, Arizona, Horseshoe Bend, which honestly, you could spend a whole lot of time just talking about Horseshoe Bend. But when we come back, we're going to talk about, there are so many places to go see out there. Lower Antelope Slot Canyons, The Wave, Monument Valley, all kinds of stuff, right? Stick with us. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We will see you guys in just one moment.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long here with my co-host, Amy.
Hi.
We're talking about Page, Arizona, all the fun things to do. It's really, if you love the outdoors. And, you know, we've done a lot of business and had, I don't know, talks with a lot of people from Europe. They come over here during their 8 months they get off a year.
I know.
To one of their favorite things is to rent an RV of some sort or a camper and drive around the United States. And so this should be on your map. If that's one of the things that you like to do or you have planned in the future, Page, Arizona needs to be on your list of things to absolutely go see, because it isn't just one or two things you're going to go there for. It is, if you love the outdoors, there's tons of hiking that we're going to get to. There's tons of just natural, beautiful wonders around there, both in Page and around that area. Like I said, it's just a couple hours from the north rim of the Grand Canyon, which is probably the least visited part of the Grand Canyon. The south rim and the west rim, which is closer to Las Vegas, are pretty popular as far as, peak travel seasons. But the north rim gets, I don't know, it gets talked over a little bit. So there's a lot of stuff to go see. We just mentioned Lake Powell, which was created when they made the Glen Canyon Dam. That opened in, I think, the 60s. And it took 13 years to fill.
Really?
It's one of those interesting facts. I'm like, because you think water's coming in, it's getting stopped there at the dam. A little bit's being let out down the river, but it's got to fill up pretty quick, right? No, It took 13 years to fill this thing to full.
Well, and so the Lake Powell Dam, to me, for those of you who know what Hoover Dam is, it's just kind of like a smaller version of that. I didn't know when we went there, what it was going to look like. And then we get there and we go to the overlook, which we'll chat about that. But I was like, oh, it's like not a mini Hoover Dam, but same concept, same look, just a little bit smaller. So if you're just really into cool engineering feats, you'll want to go check this out too.
It's all just a little bit smaller, because Lake Powell is a man-made reservoir, obviously, but it's the second biggest one to Lake Mead, which is first. And Glen Canyon Dam isn't the second biggest dam, I don't think, but it is a smaller version of Hoover Dam. So they have everything that Vegas has.
A little small.
Minus,
We did not go into the dam and do the tour that they offer, but we did go, we did walk across the dam. We took a lot of photos. We went into their visitor center, and it is really neat because in their visitor center, it does show you kind of a maps of the Colorado River and where it goes and kind of the flow from Lake Mead and Hoover Dam over to this dam. And it's seeing kind of an aerial view of that in the Grand Canyon. And it was a really neat kind of place to just wander around for a little bit and really understand geographically how all of this is connected.
Yeah. And there are some great places to take photos of this dam. If you want the north-facing side, the Chains hiking area, which runs right beside the dam, is a great place. We drove out there, and there's different paths. So one is like an actual hiking trail. You can go for a beautiful hike along the river. Another one kind of leads up to the dam, and there's great photos that you can take right there. The other side, if you want the downriver side of the Glen Canyon Dam, there is the appropriately named Glen Canyon Dam Overlook that we also stopped at.
Right.
And we got some wonderful photos, and the water's so green and pristine looking, especially when the water's running higher. It had gotten low for a little bit, but now that it's a little bit higher, it's especially beautiful and worth the time to just go sit and stand a little bit and see the area.
Yeah. At the Overlook, so it is, again, one of these areas that they do have guardrails, but you can easily walk around the guardrail and get a little bit better view. There's some big boulders you can sit on, and we did go sit on those boulders, but do this at your own risk. There are not rangers out there. No one's going to come save you if you fall over.
And I'm not. Well, I established that.
You did not sit on the boulder. I sat on the boulders.
Anybody falls off there, you stay fault to me because I ain't going nowhere.
But so when coming from the parking lot to the overlook, it is walking downhill. Going back up to the parking lot, you are kind of walking up a stone staircase. There is some handrails there, but I would just say if you have some mobility issues, you may want to skip this particular overlook. It might not be the easiest for you to get around.
Or if you're just out of shape like me, just be prepared to stop and, quiet your breathing when that thing that you do when people are walking by you and you're like breathing heavy.
You don't want them to hear how hard you're breathing.
You don't want to sound like you're dying, like doing that sort of thing.
Especially when it's somebody like twice your age or somebody walking by you and they have like a 3-year-old on their back and they're not even sweating. And you look like you're being dragged up a hill.
I feel personally attacked now.
Me too. I don't have the best cardio.
Hashtag me too. Also near there that you can get to that is it's a hike, or you could take ATVs or UTVs that different companies have for rent in the area, is a really classical and colorful rock formation known as the Wave.
Oh, right.
The Wave is... I don't know how to describe it. It's brilliant orange and red and yellow kind of sandstone that's been carved out by the wind over billions and millions of years, right? The thing about it is they have a daily lottery system. They don't allow thousands of people out there.
You can't just walk out there one day.
Absolutely not. You have to apply like no more than 2 days before your desired date. So if you want to go on Saturday, you got to apply on Thursday, and they let you know that evening if you have been selected for the lottery. Then you pay, I think it's like $15 or $16, and then you're allowed to go out there and you have that access and everything. But if you can get that lottery ticket, it is worth the price. It's worth the time it takes to get out there because it's not off the side of the road or anything. You do have to trek it out there. But if you Google the Wave Arizona, the Wave Utah, there you go, or Arizona, I think it should pop up on Google. You'll see what I'm talking about. It is gorgeous if you are a photographer, or even if you're an influencer and you like those photos, or if you just love beautiful things, just check it out, and it should be on your list as well if you're going to the area.
Right. We've tried to get out there a few times, and unfortunately, we just haven't been able to.
We ain't been picked.
Yeah, we haven't been picked, so it's still on our list of things to do. I see photos of it. I want a photo of it for myself, so we got to try the next time we're headed that way.
Which makes a great little day trip as well if you are staying in the Page area or somewhere close by. It does take, it probably would take going in and back if you're walking most of the day, or at least half a day, even if you're one of those really fit people running down trails or whatever. It's still a good little ways out there. Also nearby is Monument Valley,
right?
Which is another talk about the difference though. Giant, wonderful things bursting into the sky with, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. Keep it right here. We're talking Page, Arizona. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. Lost my voice there. I'm Jeremy Long, your host, here with my beautiful co-host, Amy Long.
Hi.
We're coming to you from lovely Las Vegas, Nevada in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. And thank you once again to all of our affiliates around the world. We really love airing out to your listeners, and those listeners become our listeners, and then they are kind of mad at you for doing that. But that's okay. We have fun talking to you guys. And, we are talking about a really fun and I still think underrated place in Page, Arizona. Lots of canyons, obviously, right next door to the Grand Canyon, the north rim of that. The beginning of lots of canyons with the Colorado River cutting through. It's beautiful when it's up and high. But we had an experience. We went on a tour of the area slot canyons. Mm-hmm. Now, there are a few different options as far as slot canyons. I think it's so funny now. You didn't know what slot canyons were.
I did not know what slot canyons were because we go hiking here at Red Rock and we do go into canyons, but we're basically on the ground and we walk up to, I guess, kind of mountains that have canyons between them. So that's what I was expecting when we drove up.
And they call it a slot canyon.
Then they call those slot canyons. Yeah. So I was expecting as we were driving up to start seeing these mountains forming in front of me, and we were going to be walking into these little crevices between them. And so we drive out to Antelope Canyon, and it's just flat for as far as you can see. And I remember asking you, where are the slot canyons? And you just started laughing and you're like, they're in the ground. And I could not wrap my head around it, but you do actually climb down a ladder and you are going through canyons that were built into the ground below you, which is a little bit frightening, I have to say, but it was really cool.
It surprisingly was a little claustrophobic. Mm-hmm. And I'm not super claustrophobic, but like once you're down there, just everything. It is a slot canyon, so it's tight in some places. And it was at times a little unnerving. And then what's more unnerving, and I'm telling this as just kind of a warning for people, if you don't like tight spaces and stuff, probably not the best thing for you. It does flood. Mm-hmm. They do have flash floods. Tragically, people have passed away. And these because the rain pours in from different areas. And there, again, like we said just a minute ago, there are different slot canyons. There's the upper Antelope slot canyons. There's the lower Antelope slot canyons. There's the secret canyon at Horseshoe Bend, and all of these things. But they can flood very quickly.
Right.
I'm telling you this because our guide starts telling us this as we're descending down into this slot canyon, which your anxiety starts going through the roof. You're like,
because at this point, and they tell you can't go back up. You have to walk through it to get out. There's
no climbing the walls. These are smooth wind and rain and water, eroded walls that are beautiful.
Right.
That have just colors that are amazing, red and yellow and orange and all this other stuff. But like if something happens, you ain't climbing these walls, man.
Well, and depending on your tour size, there can be a lot of people down there. Our tour ended up being a very small number of people. I think we had like 6 people on our tour.
Yeah.
But the tour in front of us, because they leave like every 15 minutes or so, the tour in front of us was bigger. And because they were bigger, they ended up taking longer. And we kind of just ended up tucked onto the back of them. And it does start to feel very claustrophobic, having about 20 people in these very narrow spaces, and everybody's trying to take these cool pictures of these formations, and we kind of made ourselves lag back a little bit so that we had some breathing space.
I'm sure this sounds like just a glowing recommendation for this, but if we go and do it, we want to tell you guys honestly what you can expect, because I don't want people to be like, I listen to this idiots on the radio here, and I got down there and had a panic attack or something like that. So like, again, like if you don't like tight spaces, I wouldn't recommend it. But you can get gorgeous photos. Like I still go back and post our photos every once in a while from that trip to different social media platforms, and just look at them myself, because I'm like, wow, they look so amazing. And this, I think, was just on an iPhone.
Right.
Or whatever,
we
not
shot
even
them on our
professional.
iPhones, but you and I were just in an art gallery a couple of weeks ago here in the city, and one of the photos, giant photos in the art gallery, is from it's one of the same pictures we have on our phone from the slot canyon.
Yeah, somebody's selling it for money. I'm like, I'm going to blow mine up and sell it for money. But we went. There's a few different tours. It is on Native American land, so different rules apply. And you have to go through a tour company. You cannot just go out there by yourself. We went with one of the more reputable companies called Ken's Tours. Ken's Tours have been around. We're not getting paid. We're not, whatever. We don't even know the people that own it or anything. We're just telling you, we went with Ken's Tours. They're highly rated. We had a wonderful time, anxiety aside there a little bit, but it was really fun experience to go out there. We had our daughter with us and she had a good time, and we saw lots of kids out there too. Right. They also offer things like different tours. They have like general tours and more deluxe kind of tours, and you can combine some different tours and everything. So it's kind of a one-stop place where you can go see a lot of that area with one company if, that's the kind of thing you want to do.
I think the other thing we should mention is because there is flooding, there is the lower Antelope Canyon and the upper. And when we went, the upper was closed. Looking on their website now, the lower is closed because when a section does flood, they close it off until it does dry out, and it's safe for people to go down there. So you can't actually know for sure if you're going to go which side you're going to see, but there's usually one side that is always open. Yeah,
absolutely. And we did mention the Secret Canyon. The Secret Canyon's over by Horseshoe Bend. It is a little bit of walk. You don't park at Horseshoe Bend in that parking lot. You have to go further down the street, and you can't find it. It is located on like Google Maps and stuff. So if you look around, you can find it, but it's lesser known. That's why they kind of call it secret, but it offers like a more, like a quieter, more intimate experience compared to the Antelope Canyons, which, like we said, we're always running tours and things like that. But this one is, you just kind of go out there at your own, your own risk or whatever. And yes, your own leisure out there. And that kind of brings us to like the hiking. The hiking part of Page, Arizona is, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
There are a lot, but there are a few different hikes that kind of stand out from the rest of them. And the people that go out there, I think a lot will tell you, well, the popular ones, they're well tread, so you need to go other areas. But the popular ones are popular because they offer good stuff. We did one that was like literally off the side of the road, and it's over again by did we call it the Glen Powell Dam?
I think we did.
Did I call it? Not the actor.
It's Lake Powell.
It's Lake Powell at the Glen Canyon Dam. But that is not Glen Powell Dam. So it's not named after that guy. Although Top Gun was a pretty good movie, right? So we did the Hanging Garden Trail.
Right.
So this is kind of unique, real quick, is that you take this trail out there, and it's a pretty decent little hike, but it's pretty easy, pretty flat, relatively flat. But you get to this section of, I don't know, it's a canyon walls, some kind of wall out there, but you have, because of the way the water's been dripping through the sandstone and everything, it now has plants.
Yeah, vines hanging from
Vines and plants like growing and hanging off the side of these rocks, just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So hence the name, the Hanging Garden Trail.
Yeah, and in one area, the rock kind of cuts away and the vines hang over, so you can go behind the vines. It's kind of just a fun little area. Our daughter was with us. She thought it was really cool to like kind of go in this alcove and have the vines hanging in front of her.
Yeah.
Like a little secret spot.
And kind of like an extra, you get this sort of like overlook of the surrounding area as well. Like you could see for quite a while. You could see parts of Monument Valley, definitely the lake and that surrounding area. So keep it right here. It's the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, here with my co-explorer, Amy.
Hi.
We're coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Diamondback Land Surveying Studios. Want to thank them for all their support. We are talking about Page, Arizona, all the wonderful things you can do out there in this little town. Page is not very big. Page itself, the actual city, it's not like a small one-light town. There are plenty of places to eat. Like Big John's Texas Barbecue is like a really popular favorite, and it's got really good food. But they have supply places. I mean, there's Walmarts and different things like that. It's just not huge.
Yeah, it's not a big city.
No.
It is a smaller town, so some of your options may be a little bit limited. And if you are there during peak tourist season, you may have to wait to eat, I would say, and just maybe plan ahead. Because I recall when we were searching for hotel rooms, there were plenty of hotels in the area, but they were running out of rooms.
Yeah, very quickly too,
Yeah.
especially during those peak travel months. I did want to mention a place called Cliff Dwellers. Cliff Dwellers is American style food, but it's a few minutes down the road on 89A, right? So it's like not too far away from like Lee's Ferry launch, that whole area. But one of the best things you could do is go there for an evening meal. They also serve breakfast and lunch, so you can actually go there for breakfast, I guess. But I was thinking we mentioned sunsets earlier. If you want a sunset, you want to see a sunset over these beautiful canyons and everything that they have going on out there, go to Cliff Dwellers. And if it's not middle of summer when it's 800 degrees outside, get a table outside and you get the sunset and a beautiful meal.
Right.
And you get all of that. And, you know, it is a little bit more pricey than, say, well, I don't know, Taco Bell or something. But I don't know what the actual prices are. But you get that whole thing if you want a nice sit-down meal to enjoy the outdoors.
And I think that's the thing about Page is you are going there for the scenery.
Yeah.
You're going there to enjoy all this majestic nature. I don't know how else to word it, but as you were talking about the buttes in the distance that you can see, there's these slot canyons you can't really see unless you're like in them, but you have just this gorgeous area that has been created over thousands of years, and you don't get to see this really anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you are going to enjoy the scenery, sit outside and enjoy it.
Nearby, for hiking or day trips, there's so much that you can just do right off of Page as well. There's the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, which is, you know, this giant butte that they have hiking and all kinds of stuff like around it. You can make a whole day of it, including the famous and kind of locally known Lonely Dale Ranch. Now, the Lonely Dale Ranch dates back to like the 1800s, and it's been there for a very long time. And the fun thing about it is during certain parts of the year, there is an orchard out there that you can just go and pick fruit and eat it. It's for public consumption. You can't just like pick it and then go to the side of the road and sell it. Don't do that. That's illegal. But it is a locally known thing. And they used to do tours and stuff. I'm not sure if they still do tours around that area, but it's right by the Lee's Ferry campground and all of that. So if you want to do camping, if you want to be outside, there you go. That's another one. It's on the north side of the river. So
yeah, and on Lake Powell, they have a marina, they have campgrounds, they do rafting tours. So if you want to be on the water, there's a lot of water sports activities that you can do on Lake Powell.
And it's a couple hours drive from Zion National Park.
Right.
Extremely popular national park, known for, I mean, just beautiful, beautiful looks and everything, and popular places like Kanab, Utah, which has a really popular hot air balloon festival every single year in the fall and things like that. But it is kind of one of those things like, you know, you would either hit Zion National Park and take the drive down to Page, which is only a couple hours,
into the Grand Canyon,
and then go into Grand Canyon National Park. And so you can kind of check a lot of these things off. And even if you're on a little bit longer trip, I mean, Bryce Canyon sits on the other side of Zion. So there you go. You can click or check 3 or 4 national parks and a bunch of national monuments and a lot of places where you can get some really grade A hiking. And if that's your thing, my friend John would lose his mind out here. He would hike down the trail. We would never see him again.
He would
for
drag
days.
you.
He would drag me kicking and screaming down the trail, complaining the entire way. But, you know, this is, it's also a straight shot down to Flagstaff, Arizona. And so you'll find a lot of people that have driven up from Arizona because to them it's just it's a 3 or 4 hour drive as well to get to Lake Powell, which is a very popular place. I don't know if you saw it too long ago, fairly recently, that a really popular swimming spot on Lake Powell called the Double Arch. I think locals called it the Toilet Bowl, but it's a popular place that the arch like grew over the water. So people would either get up top and like take pictures, and some daring brave souls would jump from the top into the water, and other people would just, normal people and just swim from their boats into, because you needed a boat most of the time to reach the place, to, swim in this area. The arch just collapsed.
It did.
Yeah, not too long ago. I mean, luckily
Probably
no one was
people
hurt.
were climbing on it.
That's it's not the millions of years of erosion.
No,
it was it was me.
It's
I was
rude
climbing on it.
tourists who don't know how to behave themselves.
Well, yeah, and that's a different show. I mean, but yes, absolutely. But there are all of these kind of areas. So you do have a boat, or you can rent a boat, honestly, and go out into the lake. There are tons of places to go see in little coves that you can, because it's not like a round lake. I don't know why lakes in my mind are round all the time, but this is, I don't know much about geography and geology, how lakes work, but you can go out into a lot of these coves and just have a cove to yourself.
Really?
So if it's you and your group, y'all can just, I don't know if you drop anchor in a boat. I don't do too many boats, but you can drop anchor in a boat as well and just swim and spend the day like on the water. And it's a great experience.
Yeah. And I think there's another natural bridge called the Rainbow Bridge that's right off of Lake Powell. And then we were talking about another area not far, and I never say it right, the Grand Staircase, and you have to finish the name.
The Escalante?
Escalante, yes. It has everything in it, from the slot canyons we were mentioning to some natural bridges and other things that are just really cool to see. And all of this is right around Page.
I want you to try to say the name, though. Just say it right now. I just saw your eyes get big.
Escalante?
There you go.
Okay.
You did it right.
I never say it right, but
you had to pause.
I did.
You paused.
I had to pause.
That's okay. I can say geography. Anyway. But like you said, it is an area that I think the word is getting out. It's becoming more popular. So like if you want to visit this area, I think now's the time to do it. It especially gained after the COVID-19 pandemic and everything. It gained popularity because of social media, which rapid growth from social media love can be a good thing. Bringing in lots of tourist dollars. It can also be a bad thing. The infrastructure is not there or whatever. Right. I think it's calmed back down because, people were trying to get outdoors and do stuff. Right. It's calmed back down a little bit to sustainable levels, or at least levels that won't drive you crazy. So like now's the time to go out. If you're going to visit, if you're going to do it, I think you should. I think everyone should. But now would probably be the time because it is growing in popularity, and with the surrounding areas of it getting bigger as well. Zion already has an issue with people.
Every time we've been out to Zion, it's been super crowded. We haven't been able to hike the trails that we wanted to, except you did one time get to do.
I got to do Angel's Landing.
But usually we
another lottery system.
Yeah, another lottery system. But usually we end up doing the lesser of the trails, I guess you could say. And I feel like a lot of these places like this, it's becoming like that because people do want to get out. They want quick weekend trips. They want stuff that gets them outdoors. And so you kind of just have to know now that if you're going to go hiking or you're going to go one of these beautiful scenic places, you're probably going to be there with a lot of other people, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's the world that we live in now, and with this being just, even if you come into, like my friend did recently, you come into Vegas, it's not that far of a drive. And it is, something you can rent a car or a van or something, SUV or whatever, and go out there. If you're looking for a different Vegas experience, it's highly rated. Yeah. Get out there. It's right down the road. So for everyone here, my co-host, Amy, this has been the Unscaled Travel Show. We appreciate it. You guys check us out, unscaledtravelshow.com. We'll see you guys next time.